yeah, we work together closely with Author-e, so they will follow directly after my presentation and continue. So CORDIS automation, we make a platform. We are based in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, and in Malaga, Spain. And we provide a low-code platform for machine control applications or technical software. And to explain for people who do not know this low-code approach of making software, I just make a comparison to the disruption that happened in making software for websites. So like 10-15 years ago, when you had to make software for a website, you needed two disciplines. One was the designer to make the design of the website, and the other one was the HTML programmer to build it. Nowadays, this is completely different because there are platforms like WordPress, where you do not need the HTML programmer anymore, or very limited in making your software. And this approach is now also used in technical software. So we as CORDIS, we are focusing on the technical domain. So these are just some examples of domains that the platform is used. And one of the Change2Twin partners, Additive Industries, on the left bottom, is also using our platform for their metal printing machine. So breaking it down in different kind of domains in technical software, you have the ERP, the traditional SAP software, enterprise level, management level, and we as CORDIS Suite, we are really focusing on the console level. So that in many cases these are PLCs, but can also embedded boards. So this is the domain that we are focusing on, and you see on all these different levels, you see now low-code platforms are rising. And the next level, and we are very active in it, is to connect these low-code platforms together. So you get an easy vertical integration from high level up to sensor level to manage changes in the life cycle, but also to get the data joined in databases of all these access. What all these low-code platforms have in common, and we as CORDIS Suite has the same approach, is that you describe your software in a graphical way. So on the left side, so your dynamic behavior, you describe in a kind of a flow chart. So actually you're just designing the behavior of your system, and that's not per se something that's only software related, but is very often is system related. So on system level, you describe with different domains. So other mechanical, electrical, process engineers, they all are jointly making these descriptions, and from this design, automatically the code is generated. That's on the right side. So instead of writing it code by hand, this is now automated, and I think it's quite unique in our sense that the code that we generate, it looks like it's man-made. So it's really readable. It's documented. You can still use the debug tools that are available in the current way of working. So that nothing is taken away. It's only it's kind of a the typing of the code is robotized, and you can focus mainly on your design. So our platform consists of different components. On the top, there's a model environment. So you can do a decomposition of your software components. You can create the interfaces and the relationships. And each component has also behavior that you do with a flow chart of a state flood chart. And so from these models, these formal models, you do a model transformation to code, and you can do that to different kind of vendors. So it's independent of what kind of PLC brand you use. Could be Beckhoff or Siemens, or could be even C#. And so you have no errors in your translation from design to code. Of course, the design is still man-made, so there can be some flaws. And to validate your modeling from a very early start, we have a gateway that makes it easy to hook up a simulation of virtual digital twins. That gives you the inputs and output signals, so you can just validate your models very early in your process. And doing so, we provide also dashboards, and the dashboard makes these models that you created live. So you can just step through it, so you can see in color what step is active. You can see the history, and this is connected to a server application. So the dashboard is not aware of how this is connected to what hardware, and the server applications also is responsible for logging a lot of data. So every change is logged in the server, and is also providing a dashboard where you can use the data for analysis. So this is the dashboard. So from the model, you automatically get a dashboard that gives you the same decomposition of the components. You can execute commands, you can change settings, you can observe data, you can select state machines, and you can see what's happening. So this is also automatically made available from the former model. So we see that many SMEs are struggling with all the digitalization that they have to deal with. So it's not only the control software, but also to make and maintain your user interface software. But also they need data, and they want to use artificial intelligence, but also they need documentation that's always up to date. And they would like to do formal verification, and also they would like to use HoloLens applications. So all these things are quite difficult to handle, especially when you do changes over your lifetime. So if you change your behavior in your software, you have to update all the other digital components also. So to maintain it differently, we have a single source of truth approach, where our model, the CORDIS suite model, is a formal model, and you do all model transformations to all the different domains. And one of them is to Author-e for documentation. I come back there to the end, but also to the HoloLens. And the HoloLens, the example is this. So we can automatically connect the HoloLens to the server application. So the HoloLens is also connected, like the dashboard, to the server application. So not PLCs. This is just an ICT connection. And also the live state machines are just deployed in a HoloLens. So when you deploy your software, automatically the HoloLens is updated, and you can use them to test your system using HoloLens. Another approach is data. Most of the cases when they talk about data, you talk about sensor data. And for us, this is really much a black box approach, because actually what you want to know is what's happening inside the system, but you have only the outside. And so we say, no, you not only need the sensor data, but also you would need the internals of your control software as a smart sensor. So this is what we can provide. That we just, everything that changes in your software will be added to your sensor data, and then you can make these swimming lanes. So you can see all the state changes, you can see the sensors, but also you can see the relationship. So what sensor triggered what state change. And this gives you much, so we do not do artificial intelligence, but we want to provide the best data available as input for artificial intelligence. And then you can also do a lot of filtering on all data to limit it down. And so you're very flexible in your analysis in this sense. Then the last bit, and there's also the bridge to Author-e, documentation. So it's very rare that the documentation of the software is up to date. If there's documentation, is mainly high level, it's never detail level. So we want also to automatically deploy a documentation out of your formal model. So a few approaches. So for example, if you have these components, you can specify what you want to document in these components. You can make relations to test documents or to requirements. You can do this to the interfaces, to commands, to settings. So each property you can document. Also states you can document. So you can document what you're doing or what requirements you are solving. And also you can do your title page or your footer, so you can monitor. And then with a single button you can generate your documents. This is just an example. So you just generate your documents. And you have here your whole decomposition as you have in your model. So you can see all components. So you have your front page, and you have a whole title page. And I just go too fast. So now you have your, this is all documented. You can put in pictures but also your graphical diagrams are just in this document with the documentation that you add to it. The state machines. So with a process, so you just press the button and you update your software, you update your HoloLens, you update your documentation, you update your data. So this is what we as CORDIS provide as a low-code platform for technical solutions. And I would like to hand over to Egbert from Author-e to pick it up from the documentation point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Benno. I will catch up now, start my presentation. Let's switch this one. Okay, so my name is Egbert Heuvelman. I'm from Author-e, and I'm going to present the Author-e product to you all. It's a content management and collaboration environment. We are a privately held company. We're housed in Eindhoven at the Science Park at the university. And what we provide is a content management product. And that product is actually, the first version of that product was developed in 1998 to create e-learning material. Since it has been evolved in many different directions, and I'm going to explain, show you some examples how it is applied these days. We're ISO 27001 certified, so it's an ICT security certification, so we try to do it safe as well. And we're a member of the high-tech software cluster in Eindhoven, like CORDIS and Unit 040. It's one of the other technology providers, and they promote the awareness of the software awareness for the manufacturing industry in this region. Something about the Author-e product. We have a kind of vision and mission. The vision is that you want to, we think that collaboration is done by a good design of your product. And the reason for working in documents, it's not ideal to work in file-based documents because they are too large. So our approach is to have a fine granularity database, small pieces of text, which is driven by is stored in a database and presented as one document. And that allows you to do all kinds of things with it, which are not so easy to do with normal Word documents, for instance. And the mission, of course, is to improve the document quality, to improve cooperation, to meet compliance requirements, etc. And just show you what our product looks like, technically spoken. You can have a Word document, existing Word document, that can be converted to an Author-e document. It can be divided in small pieces like chapters. And each chapter can be split in smaller pieces we call paragraphs, and such a paragraph can contain the content. And it can contain images and reference to Excel sheets and to structured databases. Then you can assign rights to sections and subsections. So different people can see different parts of your document or can edit on different parts. You can add, can tag small pieces of content with properties. This can be used for many purposes. And you also store every change, every modification from the creation of the document till the current situation. And that's very powerful to find all the modifications what has been made, or to compare versions, etc. The same accounts for assets which are stored in your document, and for Excels and for database structures, or the opposite, for the metadata. And you can also combine documents in documents, reuse them, and the same accounts for sections, and this all can be published to different formats. So this is in an overview what our product does. So, and this is an overview of those functionalities. So it's a browser-based solution. It can be hosted by us or on premises. It allows you to work together with more people on a large document, with rights, with versions, with full traceability. You can communicate in it. You will see that later. And you can reuse content. We also have a workflow module, which is different compared to SharePoint, for instance, because you land with your workflow step in the document instead of on the document. We have templates which are very dynamic, and multiple publication formats. And if we go to see this example that what Benno was just was showing, we created for this project an API support that allows the CORDIS suite platform to use the Author-e platform for generating the documentation document. And it's done on different levels. At first, the documents will be generated, but it can also be maintained from the CORDIS suite. So Author-e is behaving like an OEM in this respect. And it can publish specific versions or compare different versions of documents and compare them also. So you can do a lot of things with it. And in this case, we just the user can do it from the CORDIS suite. But if you would open the Author-e environment, on the left side, you will see the Author-e document as it is in Author-e suite. And you see, for example, that those images and tables are generated automatically by the CORDIS suite, but also content can be added manually. This can be done in our environment, but it also can be done from the environment from the CORDIS suite. And on the right side, you see the result. For example, this is a PDF which is published, but we have different outputs as well. All right, so we have also other examples. I will show you a few just to give you to inspire you a little bit. Well, technical documentation has already been mentioned. I come back on specification and regulations for the Walloon government. Scheme management, that's done for TransLink and ITSO. That's the Public Transportation Ticketing Organization. We don't show this. Standard operating procedures like for Erasmus MC. Contracts, it's done for serve market. Manuals and e-learning, I will show you a little bit about it. And proposal writing. And this is going to be done by the beneficiaries, because they will have to write their deployment voucher experiment plan in our system, which will be presented later today. So let's take a look at the Walloon government. It's a customer that's using our system now for 10 years. They had the challenge to write large documents with a lot of content, and well, also publish it to different formats. And if you take a look on the system, on the left side you see the system. It allows you see one document which exists out of 1,000 sections. And each section is maybe a 6-page long document page. And you can compare in our system different versions. And you see in the left side in the table of content where the differences are. And in the middle, you see also what the differences are. And you can publish this. You can make a publication which gives you an overview of all those changes in a Word format, and then also a Word format with those changes. But of course, you can also publish a specific version. And this was done before with, let's say, 10,000 Word documents manually in a document management system. And this was a lot of manual work. And now this is now more or less a push on the button to make this publications of a version or of the difference of versions. Another example is manuals and e-learning. I'm taking this example from CMAC. And on the left side, you see some content where they're creating a manual. And in the manual, you have also some questions. And on the right side, this is a simple example that it's published to the SCORM format. This is SCORM, that means that it can be played into a learning management system. And so people can store their results, and the trainer can see the complete result and the score. All right, scheme management. I don't have a screenshot for that, and I leave it for that. Oh, I have a screenshot for that. Excuse me. The challenge for scheme management in this case for the TransLink organization was that they want to have an original document which is getting all the scheme information, and they want to modify parts of that document in another document. And so we reuse, or we refer to another section of that document into a so-called technical notes document. So you have the same section in two different places in the system. And it is modified one side, it's also modified in the other side. And that is makes it very flexible. Before they had to copy the content to this other document and to copy it back after the modifications were made. Okay, so our offering is the technical documentation within the CORDIS suite, but also you can use this system for other purposes as listed here. And we are happy to give you additional information if you need this. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Egbert. Perfectly on time, both of you. So now would be the turn